Hello everyone, welcome to another screencast presentation. My name is Mitchell Parsonage. I'm an applications engineer at Modena Design Centers in Cape Town. And today I want to show you another little tip slash trick to do with Dynamo for Revit. I'm going to be posting Dynamo videos more frequently over the upcoming months, maybe once a month, maybe a little bit more, just depending on how everything goes. And the reason why I want to do that is just because I think it's a very powerful application, and everyone who has the full version of Revit has access to Dynamo. It's not an additional paid for software. So as of Revit 2017, it's included in your Manage tab off to the right hand side here in your visual programming panel. So Dynamo is there, it's available, it's accessible, and you can do so many extremely powerful things with it. So in this very quick demonstration, what I want to do is I want to just take my view names that I have here in my project browser, and I would like to just capitalize them. Okay, take them from lowercase to uppercase. In a project of this size, I could obviously very quickly run through these names and I just manually change them all to uppercase. But imagine for a second that you have a project that is, or that has hundreds, if not thousands, of views in your project browser, which is very easily doable in larger developments and larger projects. So we can use Dynamo from anything such as maintaining BIM standards, like this situation, for instance. Maybe that is the protocol we needed to follow from the start of the project, was to put everything in capital letters, all the way through to organic form creation that Dynamo can do, and we can even do restrictive modeling. For instance, we can make sure that our building stays within a certain square meterage. Even when we flex the geometry in terms of its width and its length, one size changes, the other size decreases in order to keep the square meterage at the designated amount. So Dynamo can do a whole lot of different functions like that, and it's a very powerful tool just to increase the efficiency of your workflow. So I'm going to get started here in my Manage tab, and I'm going to select my Dynamo button. So what that will do is it will launch an additional application, another window that sits on top of Revit. And what Dynamo does is it just connects back to whatever Revit document you have open in the background at that moment. Okay, now Dynamo can only read one Revit document at a time. So if you start it in this Revit document and you go and open another Revit project, Dynamo will only look at this original document that you connected to when you first launched Dynamo. Right, so I'm going to start a new Dynamo graph. I'm not going to be too descriptive about everything that I'm doing over here, just because it would take quite a long time to explain everything in a great level of detail. So I'm just going to run through it quickly, and I'll talk you through what I am doing, but I'm not going to go into a lot of details. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to grab the view information from Revit. So to do that, I'm going to go to the Revit section of my node library over here, and I'm going to go to the selection section. I'm going to drop in two nodes, one called categories and another one called all elements of category. Right, so the categories is my way of telling Dynamo what I'm searching for. So what Revit category am I looking for over here? I'm going to go down to views, because that's what I want to collect. And I don't just want to collect one view, I want to collect all the views. So all elements of categories will ensure that I get every single view that I have access to in Revit. So as I connect those two up and I look at the information coming out of it, I can see that instantly I've been presented with all of my view information in Revit. This is another reason why Dynamo is so powerful, because we get all of that information in just one node, and we can perform operations on all of the views at once rather than doing them one at a time. So this in general is just the power of Dynamo. Package things together and perform operations on all of them rather than just doing it one at a time. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is head back over to Revit, and when I select any view name in my project browser and I scroll down the properties over here to the identity data section, I have got a built-in parameter to the view called the view name. Okay, and the view name is set to ground floor plan at the moment. So this is the information that I need to pull through to Dynamo. Okay. So I'm going to call this parameter in Dynamo the view name. And it's important to know that if I want to get that parameter into Dynamo, it is 100% case sensitive when I'm calling it. So I have to provide it with a capital V and a capital N when I type out view name. Okay, it needs to be exactly the same as Revit. So I'll head back over to Dynamo, and I'm going to right click on the canvas over here, which is a quick way of searching your node library. And I'm going to type in get parameter value by name. Okay, that is the node that I'm looking for. So I can start typing it out and it will auto-complete and show me a couple of options. And this is the one that I want, get parameter value by name. This specifically extracts Revit parameters. Okay, so I'm going to connect all of my views up to the element input over here, because those are the elements that I want to extract the parameter from. And this parameter input requires a string data type. So to perform a string, I can do one of two things. I can either drop in a string node into the workspace. Alternatively, I can double click to produce what's called a code block, and I can just open quotation marks, and this designates what I'm about to write as a string. So remember how it was spelt. It was spelt with a capital V for view and a capital N for name, and close quotation marks. So when I connect that up to the parameter name, I will instantly be presented with all of my view name information. Okay, so remember what I'm trying to do here now is I'm trying to capitalize all of this information. So there is a node in Dynamo called change case, which allows me to obviously change the case of anything that I feed into it. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to start typing change, and that is the first node that pops up. So I'm going to drop that into my workspace. I'm going to provide the change case node with all of the strings that I want to change. And then it has this upper input, which requires a Boolean value. So a true or false. So I'll start typing in Boolean, drop that into my workspace, and I will say that yes, I do want to convert all of these to uppercase. So I'm gonna set that Boolean to true, connect that to the upper, and just like that, everything is capitalized. Okay, using 6 nodes. And if I had 1,000 views, 1,000 views would be capitalized here. Okay, switch back to Revit. I'll notice that nothing has happened just yet. I need to do one more thing. I just need to write this new information back to that Revit parameter. So I need to do one more node over here, which is basically the opposite of this get parameter value by name. It's set parameter. So rather than retrieve it, I'm about to write back to it. I can use the same nodes over here to connect the element, because the element that I'm working with is still the view, all of the views. So I can reuse that node. The parameter name that I want to write to is still the view name, so I can use that again. And now the value is the new set of information that I want to report back to Revit. So I'm going to connect that up to the value. And straight away I get this message that you always get in Revit when you're renaming views. Would you like to rename corresponding level and views? Yes, I would. Switch back to Revit. Okay, and I can see everything is instantly capitalized. All right. So very simple operation, but very, very quick to perform. And once I've created this Dynamo script, or this Dynamo graph as it's referred to, I never have to recreate this again. I can save this graph, and then I can just apply it to any Revit project going forward in the future. Regardless of how many views I have, it doesn't matter. It's going to collect all the views in your project browser, regardless of how many you have, and it will convert it to an uppercase for you. Okay, so this is just a very, very small efficiency that I wanted to show you, and one of the benefits of using Dynamo. If you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.